This will be for the con exercise, direction of vectors. So we have our vector u. The x component is 7, the y component is -4, and they want us to find the direction angle of vector u. So your answer should be between 0 and 360, rounded to the nearest hundredth. So that's going to be 2 decimal places. All right, let's draw a sketch of this. So we have an x component of 7. All right, we start at the origin, and I'm going to go 7 units to the left. I'm just going to estimate it. Okay, say that's 7. And -4 on the y. So I'm going down about 4 units. So that means our vector starts at the origin and goes right there. Okay, and we want to find the angle theta that starts from the x-axis. So we're basically finding that angle theta right there. All right, so we're trying to find this angle here. We can use this angle right in here just as a reference angle in order to label the triangle. Okay, if you go across from this reference angle, this side here is going to be your opposite, and this is a right angle here. You go across from your right angle, that's going to be your hypotenuse. So the magnitude of the vector is the hypotenuse, and of course the remaining side is going to be your adjacent. Okay, now again, I know I said you can't have negative side lengths of a triangle, but we're not looking for this angle inside the triangle. We're looking for this angle here. So we're going to need to keep the negative. All right, and if you remember the basic trig functions, SOHCAHTOA. Okay, we have opposite and we have adjacent. We do not have hypotenuse. So we're going to be using the tan function. Tan is opposite divided by adjacent. All right, tan of theta equals opposite divided by adjacent. For opposite, we have -4. I'm gonna leave some space here, and you'll see why in a minute. And for adjacent, we have +7. Okay, we're solving for theta. So in order to get rid of the tan, we want to take the inverse tan. Okay, so you want to do the inverse tan to both sides. So inverse tan of -4/7. Okay, on this side, tan and inverse tan cancel, and we're left with theta. I'm going to do inverse tan of -4/7 on the calculator. Make sure you're set to degrees. Okay, and rounding off, I get -29.74. So, does that answer make sense for this vector? Well, it appears -29.74 is this angle right here. So that would be the measurement from the positive x-axis going clockwise, okay? But we want this angle right here. Remember, the answer is supposed to be between 0 and 360. All right, so we want this angle right here. So in order to get this part, I am just going to subtract this. I'm actually going to add this to 360, okay? Because we know once around the circle is 360. So if I just do 360 plus this answer here, and that's going to be 330.26. And that is my final answer. Okay, so this was almost correct, but we got this angle. But the answer has to be between 0 and 360. They said round to 2 decimals, so that's it, 330.26. Now, before I go to enter my answer in the box while I have this up, I might as well show you. When you go on this circle here, the opposite side to this central angle here, the opposite side is going to always be the y component. And the adjacent side is always going to be the x component. So from now on, instead of going through this process, we can just use the formula tan of theta is going to equal y over x. So this is going to be the formula for this assignment. Okay, now we're going to have to make adjustments like we did here. We're going to have to make adjustments on some of the problems, as you will see. Anyhow, 330.26. So just enter that in the box. Nearest hundredth is 2 decimals. Alright, last one. We have our vector. X component is -7. Y component is +2. Let's make a sketch. So we have -7 on the X, start at the origin. And I'm just going to estimate -7. And +2 on the Y. And then we have our vector. Okay. And we're looking for this angle theta. All right, this time I'm going to go right to the formula. The tangent of the angle theta equals y divided by x. So we have tan of the angle theta equals the y component, which is 2. And let me leave some space here. The y component is 2, and the x component is -7. Okay, in order to cancel the tan, we want the inverse tan. So you do the inverse tan to both sides. Okay, on the left, inverse tan and tan cancel. We're solving for theta. On the calculator, I'll do inverse tan of 2 divided by -7. Okay, and I get -15.95. So that would be in this quadrant right in here. Okay, but we want the one over here, so why is the answer incorrect? Well, we did 2 divided by -7. Okay, if you went +7 on the x and -2 on the y, you would have this vector right here. Okay, and the problem is the inverse tan of 2 divided by -7 is going to be the same thing as the inverse tan of -2 over +7. Okay, because this is -2/7 and this is also -2/7. So it didn't really give us the wrong answer, it just gave us the angle on the other side of this line. Alright, so this angle theta that we got is actually this one in here. So if you recall, a straight line is actually 180 degrees. So all we have to do is add this angle to 180. Alright, so if we add this angle to 180, we get 164.05. So that would be this angle right here, the one we're looking for. Okay, so you might get the wrong answer just because of this fact that 2 over negative 7 is the same as negative 2 over 7. So for some of them, you may have to add or subtract 180. All right. So we have 164.05. And just enter that in the box. So just remember that for some of your answers, you may have to add 360 degrees or add or subtract 180 degrees, depending on which quadrant you're in. So your answer matches that quadrant.